Okay. Well, welcome to actually, it's our final Zoom musical for the month. And it's actually going to be a fun show today. Actually, they all are. But I was just saying a minute ago, we did like three or four sound checks. So if something doesn't sound right when the others comes on, it's Zoom, right? We'll blame Zoom. Um, anyway, so we're going to be traveling across the country in a couple states. I just always get excited by that. The fact that we're going to start in one state and jump to the other state and all that other good stuff. Just think, 4 years ago we weren't doing any of this kind of stuff. Isn't that amazing? Now we got people from Canada and England and Phoenix and all over the world. This is just wonderful. So we have three great artists. Um, One you have seen many times. But he's always amazing and he always impresses. So we know that. But the other two we don't have on regularly. And I thought this month we kind of had a chance to showcase some of our other talented staff members. And so, having said that, to open up the show, we are going to transform ourselves from, I'm right now in Tucson, and I'm going to jump over to Osprey, Florida here. Let's see, there he is. And Andrew Leach, Mr. Andrew Leach, everybody. Also, did you get permission to play that? It says it's sold.
Yeah, I gave him permission.
Okay.
Thank you, Neil.
So, with that said, we have Mr. Andrew Leach from Osprey, Florida, opening up the show, everybody. Take it away, Andrew!
you to my studio audience back here behind me. You guys can't see them, but there's a couple of them, and Dan Clapp's going, woo, do it again.
We got a big crowd over here in Tucson, too.
So that song was Build Me Up Buttercup by the Foundations. What a fun one. I was using the signature style for that song. It's called Light Shuffle. Someone needs. Yeah, that song used the background Light Shuffle. I have the great privilege today to be able to play on a grand marquee that is temporarily here in my little room. And it has a whole page of light styles, but a lot of them really are signatures for certain songs. That was one of them. I'll use another one in a minute, but since I have this instrument, I am going to indulge myself in using some of the special backgrounds that are only on it and maybe a couple of other instruments. For my next song, we're going to go forward in time just a little bit into the 70s. This is a Bee Gees song called How Deep Is Your Love, using the style How Deep. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. That was How Deep Is Your Love? Man, that's a sweet song. I like that one a whole lot. I actually learned a couple of new tunes for you guys this morning. That first one that I did, Build Me Up Buttercup, that's a new one to me. And I've got another new one for you in just a moment. But first, there's a style, one of these light styles here in More number 8 that's called Light Swing Gypsy. I love this background. It's got the bendy guitar on top. Press a little harder, and he slides right across the fret like a real guitar player does. And the fiddler on the bottom. This is emulating the style of Stefan Grappelli and Django Reinhardt. And I'm going to do a short medley of 2 gypsy jazz tunes. We're going to do a little Putting on the Ritz, and then a little How High the Moon. That was Gypsy Jazz, Django Reinhardt, and Stefan Grappelli. How High the Moon, Putting on the Ritz. That is just about my time, you guys. I have one song to leave you with, and it's tucked away here on the page with all the light styles. Easy to miss, easy to look at this and think there's nothing but light Latin, light shuffle, light 2-beat, light 16-beat, but snuck up away at the top right here. Oh, hey, by the way, one of them is light saber swing. That's the lightsaber like in Star Wars. This is how we do the Cantina Band. That's fun, but that's not what I'm doing. Hidden up here at the very top is one called Take It Easy. This is going to be Take It Easy by the Eagles, the pinnacle of 70s country rock, a really catchy tune. I haven't been able to get it out of my head for the last about week since I played it at a bar in Bradenton. But when I saw it on here, I got really excited, said, I have to learn this one. So here we go. Forgive me if I make some mistakes, but here's Take It Easy. Fake It. All right, Take It Easy by the Eagles. That sure was fun. If you're lucky enough to have that background, I recommend trying it out. The Fake It goes perfect with the guitar solo. Anyway, that's my time. Thank you guys very much. I've been Andrew. Up next, we've got Victor. I'm very excited to hear Victor play.
All right, another big round of applause from Mr. Andrew Leach. All right. Awesome. And if you're not lucky enough to have that rhythm, call one of us. Okay. We went from Osprey. Well, that was great, great selection of songs. It's nice to hear some of the differences between all the artists. And of course, we're back here in Tucson, and right behind me or on the side of me here, we have none other. Now, if you don't know who Victor is, he played a couple times in the last several years, and actually is very, very new with us compared to most of the other personal assistants and educators. He started back right when the pandemic started. I don't know if that was a smart idea or not, but he's still here. So that's great, and you're going to find out what he's got in store for you here. So let me get the camera switched here and take it away, Mr. Victor Llanos. I think my favorite part was those endings. What did you do?
All right, so I opened up with Phantom of the Opera, and I remember when I first heard Robert play it, I thought it was a very very interesting song, and I thought to myself, well, I'm still learning how to play on the Liberty, so what can I do to keep it to where I can play it but not make it too difficult? And what I did is actually I used for the style I used disco style, and it gave me the tempo that comes with the songs with the disco style. And what I did is that in my I used my Genius button and I used full pipes on my lower right, and then I used strings on the top. And that was enough for me to play it and keep it simple at the same time. So that was Phantom of the Opera. For my second song, I'm gonna
Oh,
do.
and what intro did you use?
I used intro number two.
Yeah.
hmm Intro number two. So that was
And
pretty
ending number
interesting.
two, right?
And ending
Yeah.
number two. That's right.
Awesome.
Yeah. So
Yeah, sure.
for my second song, I'm gonna do "What a Wonderful World," and again, I'm gonna use my song setup. Okay, I'm gonna use song setup, and for this song, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use my general presets. Okay, so here we go.
Awesome.
All right, that was "What a Wonderful World," and as well, I used song setup, and I used my general presets. And what I did is that I used for "What a Wonderful World," it gave me a tempo of 69 with the song setup. And what I used was number 8 to start off, and then I went to number 4 and back to preset number 8 on my general presets. So for my last song, I'm going to play a song Bésame Mucho, which as well was one of the songs when I first started and I heard Robert play it, what I thought was, very great song. So what I did is I found it in song setup here, okay, and it gives me a style called Tito's Big Band, and it gives me a tempo of 125, I believe, but I brought it down to 115. And I'm gonna go over to my category presets, and I'm gonna choose Latin, and I'll do number 2. Number 2 is gonna give me a Spanish guitar, so here we go.
Woohoo! Big
All
round of
right.
applause. Mr. Victor Llanos, everyone. That was awesome. So we had a question in the chat. They said, what's said? They came in a little late. You used the song setup, you said?
I used song setup and brought me up to Bésame Mucho. And what I did is when I used song setup, I chose the Latin category preset.
Latin category presets and Tito's Big
And
Band.
I started off with number 2 with the Spanish guitar, and then I went for number 8, which actually on the top gives me society piano and a regular piano on the lower right.
Awesome. You know, that, oh, my screen went away and put on the right camera here. And boop. Okay. So that was pretty awesome. I used to think I had one of the best settings for Bésame Mucho. Now I'm going to have to steal that one and add it to my collection. No, awesome. Another big round of applause for Mr. Victor Llanos, everybody. Okay. I don't know how I do it, but somehow I went to Florida and I came back to Tucson. Now I have to blink my eye, do the I Dream of Jeannie thing. Was that the nose or one of those shows that the magical people are? We're going to go back to Florida to Mr. Joe Fantasia, everybody.
Hello, hello, hello. Can everybody hear me? Can you
We
hear
can
me,
hear
Robert?
you. I can hear
Yes.
you over 2,000 miles away.
Oh my goodness gracious. Well, welcome everybody. That was great performances by Andrew and Victor. I loved it. Very nicely done. Very good selections, very good rhythms, very good entertaining. That's really great. I appreciate that. That was not fun to listen to. I'm sitting here right now at a symphony organ. It's actually a symphony virtual organ. And there's so many things to show, and I'm going to play 3 numbers for you. And the first one is kind of missed out by a lot of people because of the intro. And it's called Born Free, and this is a real arrangement. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have the introduction played, but I'm not going to play, and I'll explain it once it happens. The introduction has notes missing. You have to play along with the introduction. When you don't do that, then you can use number 2 if you can't do it. So listen to the introduction. It's kind of strange when you don't play along with it. It gives you a hint of Born Free, but then it eliminates the notes. So listen what happens when you hear it without the introduction being played by you. Something's missing. So now I am going to play along, playing the melody along with that introduction. Now listen what happens here. This is fun. Quite interesting. Now, if you have problems playing with that introduction, what's good about the symphony is we have two introductions. So now let's go back to the song again, and I'm going to go and put on Born Free. And this time I'm going to use the second introduction, which is what people should do if you can't play along with that introduction. So it's a very short one. It's not that, but it sounds good too. So listen to the second introduction. Pretty cool, isn't it? So it gives you an option there. Thank you. Let's hear some applause. Let's just get some excitement here. Thank you. So when I teach that, I try to get the people to learn that melody note, and all you have to do is play it with one note. And you don't have to play chords. But if you find you have a problem, you don't have to eliminate the song from playing. You can use the second introduction. I hope that cleared up the fact is what happens with that number. Okay, so now what next has been happening is that when we upgraded, this was a Sterling, and we now have upgraded it to a symphony, we added some category presets. And really, these are so beautiful, and I'm not going to have time to show you both of them. There's one called Show Tunes, and the other one's called Love Songs. Now, the love songs are just gorgeous, gorgeous arrangements. And I'm going to play, just having you hear some of these sounds on here, and I'm going to play a song. And I want to say this, I'm going to dedicate this to a very, very beautiful young lady by the name of Delilah. And Delilah is blind, and she plays everything, obviously, just listening. And when I go over and I help her out with her music, I have to make sure that I play it correctly, because if I make a mistake, she adds the mistake in their music. So this is dedicated to her because she's learning how to play this number. It's called What I Did for Love. Okay? But here are some of the beautiful sounds that are in this category. Isn't that beautiful? Thank you. That's what I did for love. Paid child support, alimony, lawyers. Oh, that's a different story. Let's go on, be more serious. Let's be more serious. We got to have some fun when we play music, guys. And I hope you're enjoying this. I'm having so much fun, and I don't get an opportunity. Did I hear a laugh over there? I think that's from my attorney that I paid some money to. All right, this last one is just for fun. We have one that's called Cab Array, and many of you have heard this, but you can play all the 1920s and 30s Dixieland music, and I'm going to open with this, playing a song from a musical called Mame, and then we're going to go into, I don't even know, a bunch of other Dixieland numbers, because it's just so much fun. This will be the last one I do, and again, it's a special category that's in called Cab Array, so I hope you enjoy it, and again, you've been a great audience, and I'm glad all 1,000 of you have come over here to Sun City to watch me. Oh, we only got one person here today. That's all right. Okay, so anyways, congratulations to our concert artists and to Robert for putting this together. And again, thank you all. So here we go.
Big round of
Thank you.
applause.
Thank you. I hope you guys had fun. I enjoyed that. Thank you, Robert, for asking
Big
me
round
to
of
play for
applause.
everybody. Thank you.
Way to go, Joe Fantasia. And let's give another round of applause to Mr. Andrew Leach and Victor Llanos, everybody. Give it up. This is where you can unmute and make noise if you'd like, everybody. Well, there we go. Well, yeah, big round of applause. So we had a great show today, right? And I want to thank you all for attending. We hope this made your afternoon even better than it was, however was going on. There's more to come in the month of March. I'm working on the calendar, so keep an eye out for the emails, the website. If you're on Patreon, all these announcements are going to be plastered all over the place. And one other thing, if you want to continue supporting your Fletcher Music Club, go out and buy an organ. It's okay. You have my blessing. I know you all kind of wanted to wait for that, but you have my blessing. And it's how we keep this thing going, right?
Right.
All right. And as always, thank you so much. Stay safe. Keep playing music. And mwah, everybody. That's a round of applause for me.